Dozens of people have died in the northeastern Brazilian state of Pernambuco after days of heavy rains triggered major flooding and mudslides. That's according to a social media post on Sunday by the National Civil Defense Service, which oversees the country's emergency management. It reported at least one other death in the state of Alagoas nearby and said dozens of others were missing, while thousands more have been displaced. Brazilian armed forces were sent to Pernambuco to help with search and rescue missions. In the hard-hit state capital, Recife, families and neighbors waited anxiously as rescue workers dug for the bodies of their loved ones in the rubble. This man was one of them.
The search parties found the body of my sister there at 5:45 p.m. They found her body there and 4 other bodies with her. They haven't found my brother-in-law's body yet.
This woman said she was awoken by the loud noise of her neighbor's house partly collapsing.
The people of the community came to help. They were digging to try and find people. Then a second collapse happened. That's when my neighbor's whole house collapsed. The family died. The father, the 2 children, the wife, all died.
This is Brazil's 4th major and deadly flooding event in 5 months.
Dramatic video showing people wading out of a flooded area in northeastern Brazil. Heavy rain has triggered landslides and severe flooding. The government says more than 80 people have died in the storm. Dozens of others remain missing. Just under 4,000 homes have been wiped out by the rains. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro is promising funding for impacted areas, and nearby schools are being set up as temporary shelters. Businesses and residents boarding up windows along the Mexican Pacific coast, preparing for the first hurricane of the season. The storm, dubbed Hurricane Agatha, is expected to make landfall as a Category 2. Mexican officials say they have opened more than 200 shelters as a precaution. Meteorologists are warning of winds up to 175 kilometers per hour, heavy rain, and the potential for dangerous storm surges.
Cold snap across Australia's southeast has brought gusty storms. After much of the region shivered through its coldest day of the year so far, more than 15,000 homes are still without power. A car in Double Bay smashed by a falling tree. The Bureau of Meteorology has released a severe weather warning with damaging wind gusts of up to 90 to 100 kilometres per hour expected for eastern New South Wales, southeastern Queensland and parts of South Australia. Canberra experienced its coldest May day since 2000 with a top of just 8 degrees. Melbourne had its coldest day since July, whilst Sydney's coldest weather will arrive tomorrow with windy tops of 15 degrees. Snow is expected to fall as low as 600 metres in parts of Tassie, Victoria and New South Wales today.
Another Colorado low coming. It will not be pleasant.
Southern Manitoba, including the city of Winnipeg, is for yet another storm that is expected to bring high winds and significant rainfall to the region. If you thought the rain was going away, think again. Environment Canada has issued another special weather statement for Monday and Tuesday. About 30 to 50 millimeters of rain is expected in the White Shell, Red River Valley, and Interlake areas.
The concern there, of course, is we already have flooding conditions, already have a lot of standing water, a lot of saturated soil, so additional precipitation will only make the situation worse, prolong whatever conditions people are dealing with right now.
Natalie Hazel with Environment and Climate Change Canada says if the rain becomes intense, water levels on lakes, streams, and drains could rise rapidly and threaten low-lying areas, including roads, homes, and other infrastructure. She says there is also a severe wind effect warning for Lake Winnipeg, Lake Manitoba, Lake Winnipegosis, and Dauphin Lake, which will cause water levels to rise along shorelines, causing powerful waves.
The winds are lining up with the lakes. So winds are out of the north, out of the northwest for today and tomorrow. So the southern beaches along most of our lakes are of concern.
Transportation and Infrastructure Minister Doyle Panyuk says the winds could increase water levels on the lakes by over 5 feet.
The belt has witnessed a tough summer, with temperatures soaring as high as 45 degrees Celsius. Monday morning started on a similar note, but as afternoon fell, the weather took a 360-degree turn. Skies with scorching sun turned into black clouds with lightning. The capital city was lashed by a hailstorm. Heavy rains with strong wind speeds shook parts of New Delhi, bringing traffic to a standstill. Residents have reported damage to property and multiple trees being uprooted. According to airport authorities, 8 flights were diverted due to turbulent weather conditions. Meanwhile, the rain and cool winds brought relief to people. The temperature fell sharply by 13 degrees Celsius. WEON is now available.
The fuel crunch in England is being complemented by an energy crisis across Europe. Natural gas inventories are depleting, prices are skyrocketing, markets are nervous, and winter is coming. I know it sounds dramatic, but a lot depends on the weather, really. A harsh winter means a full-blown crisis, one that could deprive millions of their daily needs and slip several European economies into recession. We might even see them fight each other over natural gas. It is in alarmingly short supply, and the world needs it more than ever, especially colder regions like Europe. They need natural gas to power their industries, to keep their economies running, and to heat their homes. But there isn't enough gas to burn, and this crunch will get worse as the temperature drops. We'll discuss that in detail, but first let's tell you where things stand as of today. The wholesale cost of natural gas has surged to record highs in Europe, and the result is this: electricity prices are spiraling out of control. Where is this happening? In leading economies like the UK, France, Spain, Germany, and Italy, they're all suffering. They're all witnessing multi-year highs in prices. What's behind this crisis? Well, a lot of things. I could give you 4 reasons. First of all, economies coming out of the pandemic have doubled down on the use of resources. They're burning more fuel. Second, a cold spring depleted most natural gas inventories. Third, a calm summer slowed wind power generation. There wasn't enough wind to be turned into energy. And fourth, a touch of bad luck and politics that is making the situation worse. I'll explain all of this. Most of the European market, you see, relies on imported power, and the imports have hit many hurdles. Last week, there was a fire at an electrical interconnector that runs beneath the English Channel. It shut down a key power link between the UK and France. As a result, power supply was hit. Then a Northern Irish system sealed its exports due to domestic concerns. It further strained power supply to Europe. And then we have the Netherlands, Europe's largest onshore gas field. They've refused to boost production. They fear impending earthquakes, so they will not increase production despite the crunch. Now, all of these factors together have hit Europe. And European countries typically turn to Russia in situations like this. Russia meets a third of Europe's natural gas needs. Russia's state-owned natural gas company Gazprom does the heavy lifting. But supplies from Gazprom too have been lower than usual this time. Some say this is due to high domestic demand in Russia. Others fear that this is a deliberate market manipulation tactic by Moscow. Well, whatever be the case, Europe is feeling the heat and people are suffering. In Germany, the price of power has leaped 119%. In France, it has jumped 149%. In Spain, the increase has been 250%. In Britain, 298%, almost 300% jump in the cost of electricity. This is unprecedented. Industry observers say the situation could get worse with the onset of winter. A harsh winter means higher gas consumption. And if it gets very cold this winter, Europe is going to suffer more. Supply chains will be strained, prices will rise further, there will be more inflation, and governments are already warning of blackouts and factories being forced to shut down. This, of course, will have political implications, especially in countries that are going to polls. So what's the solution? With natural gas in short supply, can renewables fill the gap? Can wind and solar power meet the demand? Apparently they cannot. They may have become the leading source of energy, but they're still incapable of generating enough power to account for 100% of the demand in the months ahead. So where does that leave Europe? In the lap of luck, unfortunately. It can't fix the crisis with a magic wand. It will need long-term strategies to overcome this. Also, for all their promises of cutting down emissions, this winter, European countries are going to learn just how much their economies still depend on natural gas and how little they've done to overcome this dependency.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth, peace. A salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers, the hopeful, elect, pushing this truth that risk their own lives at the four corners of the earth. To the Aqua, to listen and learn, Shalom. It's your brother Shimon from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp here in Toronto with another lesson. And we'll get right into it. You saw the clips. Isaiah 29, verse 6, and it reads, Thou shall be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, right? Lord of hosts, all caps, Lord, Yahweh of hosts, armies. Visited with what? With thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire, right? This is how the Most High gets down, man. Thunder, earthquakes, storms and tempests, right? The great noise ultimately is the missiles, man. Right? And we see weather wreaking havoc worldwide, man. And it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, man. This is just the pop off. You know what I mean? And we ended there with the winter warning, man. So winter, man. The weather's showing itself to be unstable. You know what I mean? And granted, yeah, Esau's got his harp, right? But who gave Esau that technology, man? You know what I mean? Sleepy Joe said 2 years ago, dark winter. He wasn't talking about 2 winters ago. He's talking about this winter, man. And they keep pushing this rolling blackouts because of adverse weather. Okay? Isaiah 28 verse 2. And it reads, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, right? The Most High Power, Yahweh Shem Shai. He hath a mighty and strong one. Which is what? Which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand, right? Flood waters, hails, tempests. Look at Brazil. Brazil get washed away. Right? We saw the clip. Right? And once again, this is only going to get worse. America didn't get touched yet. America hasn't been touched yet, man. America soon get touched. America the Great, Babylon the Great, soon get touched. Right? Tornado season in America the Great, Babylon the Great. Hurricanes about to start ramping up. Who's the author of this? The Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We're reading it. Psalms 83, verse 15. So persecute them with thy tempest, right? Persecute. What does persecute mean? Persecute who? Persecute who? America the Great, Babylon the Great, these heathen nations. 2/3 of our people. With what? Thy tempest. Let's look at this word persecute.
Strong's H 7291. Radaf. Radaf.
Persecute. To persecute, harass, put to flight, to be pursued, to run after, usually with hostile intent, chase, put to flight, right? Persecute them with thy tempest, right? You see these people, these waves of water washing away Brazil, man. Waves of water licking down New Delhi over there in India. Verse 16, fill their faces with shame that they may seek thy name, O Lord, all caps, Yahweh, right? And ultimately 2/3 of people are not going to repent. They're not. They're going to continue on, right? Ultimately eat a missile, perish by famine, by sword, natural disaster, earthquake, tempest, FEMA camp, pestilence. Sirach, chapter 36, verse 1. Have mercy upon us, O power, Salakia. Have mercy upon us, O Lord, power of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Right, send thy fear upon all the nations. You see the nations, the wicked, right? That seek not after thee, right? And 2/3 are going to be caught up in it. Right, not seeking after the Most High Power, Yahweh Shem Shai. verse 3, lift up thy hand against the nations, Salakia, lift up thy hand against the strange nations, these strange nations, the heathen, and let them see thy power, right? Let them see it, let them see thy power. And listen, the time's gonna come, the whole world gonna acknowledge and understand that this is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai at work. Same way he did away with Egypt, ancient Egypt, the same way he's gonna beat down and destroy America the Great, Babylon the Great, ultimately leading to those missiles, man. Exodus 9 verse 22, close out. And the Lord said unto Moses, right, Lord, all caps, Yahweh, stretch forth thine hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, ancient Egypt, upon man and upon beast and upon every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt, right? Stretch forth thy hand, right? Through the hand of Moses, bring forth the hail, the work of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. He's telling his servant Moses what to do. Verse 23, and Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord, all caps, Yahweh, sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt, right? Hail. Once again, the same way the Mosai Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai visited ancient Egypt, he's going to visit America the Great, Babylon the Great. Verse 24, so there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous. Very grievous. Let's look at this word grievous. Grievous. Grievous in the Hebrew.
Strong's H3515. Kaved. Kaved.
Heavy, great, massive, abundant, numerous, hard, difficult, burdensome, very oppressive, right? Very grievous. The Most High is about to visit this place. Very grievously, right? Exodus 9 verse 24. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation, right? Same way the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai visited ancient Egypt. Same way he's going to visit this place, man. America the Great, Babylon the Great. Job 37. Job 37, verse 5. The Most High thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. Right? We can't comprehend what the Most High is doing, man. His thoughts are not our thoughts, neither his ways our ways, roughly paraphrasing. Right? Right? Esau's scientists quick to say, you know, weather phenomena, global warming. This is the doing of the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Verse 6, here's the point. For he said to the snow, be thou on the earth. Likewise to the small rain and to the great rain of his strength. Right, so weather. This is the works of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. Right? And we see the narrative coming out, the priming the masses for a dark winter and energy crises. Right? Energy crisis. They're priming, once again, they're priming the masses, the narrative of a dark winter and energy crisis. Right? And we're seeing, they're priming the masses for rolling blackouts throughout the summer and tumultuous weather. Shalom.